Chavzayin Amud Aleph, we're starting from Chavav Amud Bet, 3 lines from the bottom. We said in our Mishnah, Rabbi Yehuda Omer, the end time of Tfilat Shacharit in the morning, the ad 4 sha'ot, up to 4 hours in the day. First, the Gemara asks, Ibai Lehuda asked in the yeshiva, ad ve'ad bichlal, or dilma ad ve'lo ad bichlal. When he said ad 4 sha'ot, it means up to the fourth hour, not including the fourth hour, which is 4 hours and not the following hour, or dilma, or maybe ad velo ad bichlal. Ad velo ad bichlal means up to the fourth hour, not including the fourth hour. So are we up to the fourth hour, or ad
including the fourth
ve'ad bichlal, including the fourth hour, or ad velo ad bichlal, not including the fourth hour? The Gemara says, Tashma kamen listen. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, ad plaga mincha. Regarding end time of Tfilat Mincha, the time is plaga mincha. Now, amart bishlama ad velo ad bichlal. If you're going to say, Rabbi Yehuda said, until plaga mincha, not ad bichlal, then ainu deika ben Rabbi Yehuda le Rabbanan. That's a machloket between Rabbi Yehuda to Chachamim. Why? Because according to Rabbi Yehuda, up to plaga mincha and no more. And according to Chachamim, the end time from Tfilah it's until ad ha'erev, until sunset. Ela amart ad ve'ad bichlal. If according to Rabbi Yehuda, whenever he said up to something, it's ve'ad bichlal. So when he said ad plaga mincha, including the following, the plaga mincha, which is when the plaga mincha in the evening ends, by
an hour.
In the evening, plaga mincha in the evening ends by sunset. So it comes out, Rabbi Yehuda, I know the Rabbanan. If so, Rabbi Yehuda will be some opinion. If Rabbi Yehuda add plaga mincha, which is ve'ad bichlal, the end of plaga mincha, so the end of plaga mincha is by sunset. Yeah. Chachamim also said the end time of mincha is sunset, so it will be the same time as Chachamim. The Gemara says, Elamai, rather what you must say, ad velo ad bichlal. When he said he gave a time, not bichlal, rather only the time that he gave, and not up to that time, and not into that time.
And then we said it was an earlier time. There's two versions: an earlier plug and a later plug.
Ve'ad bichlal, up to or after the time.
Then we said there's 2 different plugs.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Okay, because maybe we first earlier one, no?
Good, that's the answer. Excellent. So elamai ad velo ad bichlal. You have to understand that when Rabbi Yehuda says ad up to 4 hours, not including the fourth hour, up to plaga mincha, not including the plaga mincha. With that being said, a maseife, we said v'shel musafim kol hayom. Regarding Tfilat Musaf, according to Chachamim, you can all day pray Musaf. Rabbi Yehuda Omer ad 7 sha'ot, until 7 hours. Now, until 7 hours, if ad velo ad bichlal, what's until 7 hours means? 7 hours means
7th hour stops.
Up to the 7th hour. Right. So it's end by the end of the 6th hour, before the 7th hour and 59 and 99 seconds, 59 seconds. And that's when it's end. לפי זה, בתניא, we have in the Braita an interesting case. היו לפניו 2 תפילות. If somebody had in front of him 2 תפילות to pray, אחת של מוסף ואחת של מנחה. If you didn't pray Musaf and it's a time of Mincha already came, which tefillah should you pray first? מתפלל של מנחה, will pray Mincha first, ואחר כך של מוסף, and then מוסף. למה? שזו תדירה, מנחה it's more common, וזו אינה תדירה. And Musaf is not as common, so therefore Mincha will be before Musaf. We are in Chavzayin Amud Aleph, 6 lines from the top. Rabbi Yehuda אומר, לא, מתפלל של מוסף, first is going to do the תפילה of מוסף, ואחר כך של מנחה. למה? שזו עוברת, וזו אינה עוברת. the תפילה of מוסף has passed, it's going to pass before the time of מנחה. Because according to Rabbi Yehuda, מוסף it's up to 7 hours. משנכן according to מנחה you can do up to פלגה מנחה later. Now, היא אמרת בשלמה עד ועד בכלל, if the times of Rabbi Yehuda it's עד ועד בכלל, היינו דמשכחת להו 2 תפילות בעד העתעדי. That will be possible to have 2 tefillot on the same time. Meaning, if you hold the tefillah of the Musafim, it's up to the 7th hours, ad ve'ad bichlal. So that's including the 7th hour. So when is the time of Tfilat Mincha begins? 6.5 hours, which is half an hour into the 7th hour.
That's the beginning of Mincha.
That's the beginning of Mincha.
Right.
So if you're going to hold that he said ad ve'ad bichlal, then he has a case of that the beginning of Mincha will be
The same time.
overlap on the same time of Musaf. Because Musaf can be up to the 7th hour. It's not the 7th, it's ad ve'ad bichlal. So into the 7th hour. And Mincha it's 6.5 hours from the beginning of the day. Then you have them together. אלא, היא אמרת עד ולא עד בכלל, if you hold it עד ולא עד בכלל, so when is the end time for Musaf? By the beginning of the 7th hour. When is the beginning of Mincha? Half an hour later, which is 6.5, which is half an hour later. So it comes out that there will never be possibility of a case where Musaf is going to be on the same time of Mincha. If so, let's see it inside. אלא היא אמרת עד ולא עד בכלל, if you're going to hold עד up to the 7th hour, not including the 7th hour, איך היא משכחת לו שתי תפילות בעד העדה? How can you have two תפילות on the same time? כיוון דעתיה לה למנחה, when the time of מנחה comes, אז ללה של מוספים, the time of מוסף already goes away, because if you hold עד ולא עד בכלל, not including, then the time of מוסף already gone before the time of מנחה begins. If so, you have a hard time saying that ad velo ad bichlal. The Gemara says, Ela mai, you need to say ad ve'ad bichlal. If you need to say ad ve'ad bichlal, then kashya reisha, then we have the kashan at the beginning. What was the kashya? Ma'ike ben Rabbi Yehuda le Rabbanan. We said earlier, if you owe the ad is ve'ad bichlal, including the time, we said earlier that the time of the end time of mincha is plaga mincha. If it's ve'ad bichlal, that means in sunset, then you say Mapilos Chachomim. So if you said ad ve'ad bichlal, you also have a problem. How would you reconcile that? The Gemara says, Lo, mi savart. This is Shan's answer. The Gemara knew Shan going to be in this world, and Rabbi gave the answer. Mi savart da'at plag mincha, plag achrona ke'amar. When Rabbi Yehuda said that the end time of mincha, it's plag mincha, you think we're talking about the last plag mincha? Lo, plag rishona ke'amar. We're talking about plag mincha gdola, ve'achi kamar. This is what he said. Matai, when is the time, the end time of mincha? Matai nafik plag rishona, ve'ail plag achrona. When is the end time of the first plag of mincha? That the last plag of mincha begins. Mechinafki yud alef shaot chaser revia. When you have 11 shaot missing a quarter, meaning by the 10 hours and 3/4 of the day, this is the end of the first plaga mincha. So when Rabbi Yehuda says plaga mincha, he meant until the end, the first plaga mincha. So Rabbi Yehuda always hold that ad means ad bichlal, including the time of tfilat mincha, but ad bichlal means up to 1.25 hours, up to the second plag. When Chachamim said sunset, it's way later until shkia. So we conclude according to Rabbi Yehuda, always the time is ad ve'ad bichlal. So therefore, when we said in the Mishnah ad 4 shaot, good news, it's including the 4th hour. So you can sleep a little bit better.
Next hour.
Omar Rav Nachman, afana nami tnina. We also said the same thing in the Beraita. Rabbi Yehuda ben Bava, this is a special Masechet Eduyot. Eduyot, we're going to see later on, it's called Masechet Bechirta, a chosen Masechet. Lama? It's a Masechet that they were very careful on the way they wrote. It was all of the rabbi gathered and they gave testimony and everybody affirmed that it's true. So in that in Masechet Eduyot it says the following: Rabbi Yehuda ben Bava aid, Rabbi Yehuda ben Bava testified 5 things. Many of them not relevant, but one of them is Shemema'anim et haktana. A girl, ktana, cannot get married by herself if she's under 12. Her father can marry her. But in a case that his father is not alive, her brother and her mother can marry her off, and she can, when she gets adult, she can refuse that marriage. That's called Mema'anim et haktana. V'shemasiim et ha'isha al pi ed echad. A woman that her husband died, and we don't what happened to him or disappear. Even one witness who testify what happened to him, we will rely on him to marry her. ועל תרנגול שנזקל בירושלים שהרג את הנפש. Even we know that an ox who gored and killed the person will get stoned. So this is also on any other animals, we say the din will be the same. An animal who killed, was it תרנגול, הוא ניקר את המוח של תינוק. He ate the brain of a... לנקר, you know? Yeah.
Chipped away,
Yeah, chipped away, and so the din of סקילה applies also other animals. ועל יין בין 40 יום, שנתנסך על גבי המזבח. Yain, even 40 days, only 40 days was in the wine processing, it's already good to be poured into the mizbeach. And this is for us, ועל התמיד של שחר שקרב ב4 שעות. The תמיד של שחר, the tefillah is for, shacharit is for תמיד של שחר, and it was brought into the 4th hour in the day. שמע מינה יוסיף from here עד ועד בכלל, שמע מינה... אמר רב כהנא, הלכתה כרבי יהודה, the halacha will be like רבי יהודה, הואיל ותנן בבחירתה כבתי. Since we said in the choosing מסכת like him, therefore halacha will be like רבי יהודה.
מוסף? מתוך המוסף, right?
Everything, לא, סליחה, ברבי יהודה מדובר פה רק על שחרית. That's only on שחרית. On מנחה we'll see in a second. more than a second, אוקיי.
חשבתי שרבי יהודה אומר רק מדבר על מנחה.
לא, הוא מדבר על שחרית, עד 4 שעות, חכמים מסעד עד חצות. אז ההצלחה היא like רבי יהודה. תנתיל 4 שעות שחרית, נתנתיל חצות.
מתי הוא דיבר על שחרית?
במשנה שלנו, במשנה. בגלל השחר עד חצות, רבי יהודה אומר עד 4 שעות. אוקיי, על תלמיד ששחר שקרב ב4 שעות. We said the תלמיד ששחר was brought in the 4th hour of the day. The Gemara says, man tana leha detnan. Who said the following braita? That Tamid was brought in 4 hours. We have the problem from the following. The pasuk said regarding the man that was in the midbar that were eating the man, v'cham hashemesh v'namas. When people had to collect the man right in the morning, and when it was hot, it was already sun, and all of the man was dissolved, was melted. V'namas. Be'arba sha'ot. That was done up by the 4th hour of the day. The man was melted.
So לא כל האתר.
כן. אומרת הגמרא, including.
including it?
כן. אתה אומר ב4 שעות, you said by the 1st hour, או אינו אלא ב6 שעות. When it's hot usually on the day, midday it's really hot. What makes you to say that it was up to the 4th hour, maybe it is until the midday it was melted. The Gemara says, כשהוא אומר כחום היום, הרי 6 שעות. באברהם אבינו it says, והוא יושב כחום היום. By him was the hottest part of the day. אז כחום היום, the hottest part of the day, it's midday. If so, אמור, אני מקיים וחם השמש ונמס, when the sun hot, that means a different time than the time of כחום היום. כחום היום is, used to have an American guy, Chavrisa, he taught me English. He didn't speak Hebrew. So when I came to Florida, he was, Oyo medaber imi beloshon hakodesh. So when it's hot, he used to tell me, Ariel, kechoy mayoim. So, kechoy mayom, amani mekayem, v'cham hashemesh v'namas. So what's the pasuk v'cham hashemesh, and the sun will be hot and then it will be melted? This is a different time. This is not kechoy mayoim. Rather, it must be be'arba shaot. You see, by the 4th hour, it will be hot. The Gemara says,
אבל מה אכפת לי? אם אמרנו תפילה כנגד קורבנות, מה אכפת לי בכלל מהמן עכשיו? אתה מכניס לי את המן. תפילה כנגד קורבנות, אותי לא מעניין מהמן.
אבל לא היו...
מה אכפת לי מהמן?
No, let's see. No, let's see. לא, בוא נראה שנייה. The Gemara says, Mani, who is our Mishnah? We said, when was the time to collect the man? בבוקר? Early in the morning. The Gemara says, Mani, לא רבי יהודה ולא רבנן. Cannot be neither רבי יהודה, neither רבנן. if רבי יהודה, if it's according to רבי יהודה, עד 4 שעות, נמי צפרא. According to רבי יהודה, even into the 4th hour, it's still morning. And here we don't call it a morning anymore. It's going to be melted. רבנן, עד חצות נמי צפרא. According to רבנן, even up to חצות, it's considered as morning. Here we see the morning is end by the beginning of the 4th hour. The Gemara answer, I baitem Rabbi Yehuda, I baitem Rabbanan. You can say either Rabbi Yehuda or Rabbanan. I baitem is our Mishnah is Rabbanan. Amar kra baboker. חלקהו לשני בקרים. The pasuk said that to collect the man was morning, בבוקר. So you should split the day into two. So at the end of the third hour, which is beginning of the fourth hour, this is when it was melted. So according to him, it's okay. באמת, בוקר, it's up to חצות. But regarding the man, it says בבוקר, so half of the morning. מבייתי מרבי יהודה, you can say, המשנה is רבי יהודה, האי בוקר יתרה, להקדים לו שעה אחת. You can say that this is Rabbi Yehuda. When Rabbi Yehuda says Boker, according to Rabbi Yehuda, ends by the end of the fourth hour.
Right.
But here it's always that end by the beginning of the fourth
Right.
hour. Because when it says Baboker, like earlier in the morning, that's 1 hour earlier. They want to just trying to analyze the side point. Everybody, however, agree and understood. וחם השמש ונמס בארבע שעות. When we says וחם השמש ונמס, if it's hot, the sun is hot, and it's melted, will be by the beginning of the fourth hour. My mashma, where do you see for those words of the Torah, וחם השמש, that it's referring to the beginning of the fourth hour? Maybe it's a different time. Amar Rav Yaakov Baracha, Amar Ka, we're learning it from the word of the pasuk, וחם השמש ונמס. You need the time that only under the sun it's hot. That's the time that will be melted. Eso hi sha'a, what is the time? When is the time? שהשמש חם, the sun is hot, והצל צונן, and the shade is shade or shade? Shade, it's cold. That's ואומר בארבע שעות. By the fourth hour it's still hot and cold. By lunch your schnitzel even, or where it shades. תפילת המנחה עד הערב. The end of תפילת מנחה will be until the morning, the evening. So we have a machloket. According to Rabbi Yehuda, תפילת המנחה עד הערב, which we just explained, up to the beginning of the first plug המנחה, the second plug, נכון? So the end time of מנחה, according to Rabbi Yehuda, is hour and 15, hour and quarter before sunset.
Right.
According to חכמים, it's by sunset. אמר לרב חיזה לרב יצחק, says רב חיזה to רב יצחק, הטעם, regarding the end of tefillah in the morning, אמר רב כהנא, הלכה כרבי יהודה, הלכה it's like him, by the end of tefillah in the morning, הואיל ותנן בבחירתא קברתי, since in the chosen משניות, which is מסכת עדויות, we said like him, that's why we know that in the morning, the end of tefillah is the end of the fourth hour, which is like Rabbi Yehuda. Hacha, mai, what will be the din over here regarding the end time of mincha? Do we say that also halacha is like Rabbi Yehuda or not? He gave him the best answer in the world. The Gemara says, ishtik velo amar le velo midi. He was silent, he didn't say anything. Why? He didn't know. If you don't know,
don't say anything.
Don't say. Amar Rav Chizda nichze ana. Let's analyze ourselves. מדרב מצלי של שבת, בערב שבת, מבעוד יום, we see that Rav prayed the tefillot of Friday night, Shabbat night, already early when it was still day, meaning after Plaga Mincha, the second Plaga Mincha. If see Shma Mina, halacha k'Rabbi Yehuda. You see that halacha is like Rabbi Yehuda, that the end of time of Mincha, it's Plaga Mincha, so right after begins the time of Arvit. So if Rav davening earlier on Shabbat, in our words, that's a raya that halacha is like Rabbi Yehuda. He didn't wait for sunset. However, the Gemara says, lo aderabba. Mide Ravuna veRabanan lo matzlu adorta. Since Ravuna and Chachamim were makpid not to pray until sunset, he says, Shma mina, en halacha k'Rabbi Yehuda. You see the halacha is not like Rabbi Yehuda. אז מה קורה? We have a contradiction behavior of Chachamim in halacha. The Gemara gave us one of the best gifts in the world. Hashta. דלא יתמרי לך אתה לא כמר ולא כמר. Now the halacha wasn't said neither like each. We don't know who's the halacha. Neither like Chachamim, neither like Rabbi Yehuda. דעבד כמר עבד, ודעבד כמר עבד. Whoever does like Chachamim, תפדל. Whoever does like Rabbi Yehuda, תפדל, תפדל.
Just be
And
consistent.
therefore, no, you don't have to be consistent.
You can't just switch up one or
According to
the other.
Sfaradim, on the same day, yes.
On the same day, right.
On the same day, but even on the same day, Kaf HaChaim hold, you don't need to be consistent. When we pray Arvit in Shorashim at 7 o'clock, Mincha Arvit, you are using, according to Rab Chachamim,
right.
when you used to pray, on the summer, according to Chachamim, 7 o'clock is
Sunset.
Early.
no, it's day. And according to Rabbi Yehuda, it's already night.
Right.
And we pray right after Arvit. So the Arvit Kemar Arvit on the same time. So Ashkenazim are makpid on it.
Right.
Not as much as makpid. The Kaf HaChaim is very lenient. And he said it's okay. Abba was here and he didn't give me any comment. We do have some Israelis who come, but
But just on the same day, you have to stick to one or the other. On the same day.
No, that's my point. On the same day, you pray 7, it's before sunset and it's after Plag, you do Mincha and Arvit on the same time.
Okay.
So even on the same day, it's still okay.
What you do, you extend the
Okay,
Shabbat.
you can shut it.
Even on the same day.